let's start this off for the YouTube listeners now. Starting off the Chelsea preview, what would be your centre-back pairing for Everton against Chelsea?
At the moment, I would stick with Jagielka and Distan. I think they looked fairly solid for 70 minutes of the game against Arsenal. I think Stones hasn't particularly massively impressed me so far in pre-season and this season, even though he was brilliant towards the tail end of last season. I just think at the moment I'd probably stick with the two of them. If there's one criticism I've got of John Stones is he doesn't particularly deal with crosses very well either.
No, I mean that's the one criticism you can have about him, and I think some of our the people who follow us on social media tend to think that he is in the mould of like a John Terry type defender who will put his head in front of a ball. I think one thing that makes you think that is because he played on with that headband on. When he got a cut last season, that wasn't through heroic defending. John Stones is a ball player and a tackler.
He's a football and centre half,
and he's great at reading the play, and making tackles from a distance, and then bringing the ball out. But he's not a out and out balls to the wall defender. Jags is, would you say?
Well, again, if you had one criticism of Jagielka, probably in the past, you would say it's possibly been his distribution and his long diagonal passes that used to go to absolutely nobody. Obviously, since Roberto's come in and changed the way we play, that's been cut out to a certain extent. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I know we've conceded twice in both games so far. I still stick by what I said last week. The 2 goals against Leicester, I think we're lucky on Leicester's behalf. So at the moment, give the boys a chance and let them go into the game against Chelsea and see what they can do. I wouldn't change any of the back four at the moment.
I mean, if there's chances that come about, like the Leicester ones, with ball bobbling around, if they fall to Costa, he's just going to bury them, isn't he? Like he's shown in his 2 games. If he gets a chance like that, he's going to put it away. Yeah,
I mean, I don't even think you can just, concentrate on Costa. You look at who they've got coming forward. You've got Hazard, Fabregas, Shearer, Costa, Drogba to come on late on. Abundance of talent attacking-wise, haven't they? So, they've got a number of places goals can come from. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I think, you play your strongest back four. You play your back four who are most settled and most recognised and understanding of each other. So yeah, you go with the back four from the Arsenal game.
Yeah, I mean, another week of fitness, another week of playing together. Hopefully that will be something that has been addressed. Knowing Roberto, he's got this calm demeanour and he always says the right things when he speaks to the press. I think he'll be going mad behind closed doors, and trying to rectify this situation and hammering them with crosses and making sure that they deal with them, because they've got to be, because that's been our shortcomings so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the game and looking at the Everton team selection as a whole, I think barring any injuries, we know Pinar's out obviously, but barring any injuries, we'd probably go with a very similar team or a very similar setup as to what we did against Arsenal. If Lukaku is fit, I could see him maybe starting sort of out to the right, Naismith through the middle, Morales on the left, and then a 3 in midfield behind them of maybe Barry. Sorry.
You were going to say Barthy or
I was, yeah. I always do that. Barry, McCarthy, and then obviously there's one spec there. Maybe if they're worried about the midfield interplay of the likes of Fabregas and Oscar, maybe bring Besic in and give him his debut to try and shore up that midfield a little bit.
The problem is, though, if we play a similar formation there with that 4-3-3 kind of formation with Lukaku and Morales out wide and Naismith up the middle, you've got, possibly Chelsea's weak link defensively is Azpilicueta. I think that's my first attempt of saying his name.
That was good.
I did it phonetically, do you notice?
Yeah.
So Lukaku focusing like he did last week with Monreal of Arsenal. But then, if you've got Morales over on the left, is he going to track back Ivanovic? You've got Coleman coming forward.
You've got to remember though that
Sorry, Baines coming forward on that side.
Ivanovic is basically a centre half playing out of position. Is he? If he's got a weakness, it's when players run at him.
Yeah, but if he's got a strength, it's going forward. Well, I mean, he's good tackling, but how many goals does Chelsea get from that right hand side going forward?
Yeah, but most of it, Ivanovic isn't like a Seamus Coleman. He doesn't bomb up the wing and start ripping players, does he? Ivanovic gets goals from set pieces.
I'm not talking about goals. I'm not talking about goals. I'm talking about the threat he's got. If you look at that bit of play last week for Leicester's, the goal against Leicester, Diego Costa, it was him bombing on into the box. And will Morales track him there?
I'd fancy Morales to push Ivanovic back rather than Ivanovic push Morales.
I hope so. I hope that's the case.
I really would.
I hope that's the case, but I don't think I think Roberto's going to see that threat from that goal that they got last week, and many goals they got last season. I think they're going to see that threat, and I don't think he's going to go with a 4-3-3. I think he's going to go more with a 4-5-1 formation again. And I mean that's. How he fits, Lukaku and our informed striker Naismith into that formation is going to be tricky. That's if Lukaku makes it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Chelsea on the other side of the coin, if I had to pick a team that's impressed me the most so far this season, I'd say out of the two games it's been Chelsea. But the level of opposition they've played is questionable. Would you say? Obviously, Burnley in the first game took those apart, beat them 3-1.
Yeah,
and then obviously played Leicester last weekend. 2-0 finished.
So Leicester put up a valiant display, didn't he? And as he showed in the game against us in the first game, there were no mugs, no pushovers at all. And then Chelsea found them the same really, and it took them, until deep into the second half to take the lead. And
Diego Costa's found his feet straight away, 2-2.
But Chelsea could have been 1-0 down, couldn't he? When Nugent ran through and had a one-on-one and just completely fluffed his lines, So it could have been a different story, but the way the midfield of Chelsea have settled and Costa's just got off the mark straight away. I mean that touch he had from the Ivanovic ball across, where he just it was fired at him, wasn't it? And he just chested it into the only space that he could put it, and great finish.
Yeah.
And then obviously Hazard with the put the icing on the cherry on top at the end with a nice little cut inside and finish.
So as we mentioned before, that's how I'd expect them to line up, with Costa up top, Hazard and Shearer coming in from the two wings, and then probably Fabregas, Matic and Oscar in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Matic is a bit of he's gone under the radar a little bit. Fabregas,
he's one of those great players who just break it. He's a James McCarthy. He's Chelsea's James McCarthy. That's what he is.
Yeah. So do you think? I mean, Chelsea have had a player. Well, they've been missing a player like that for a little while. They used to have Makelele in there who just did all the tidying up.
Yeah, they've had Mikel for a while, but he's never really been.
He's not filled those shoes, has he?
That
Can Matic do it?
I think he's looking the part at the moment. Great buy by Jose Mourinho to bring him back to the club. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game for the Blues. It's a 5:30 kick-off again. Under the lights. It is the new lights. To get a little bit dark. The new blinding lights that they put in at Goodison, which are a bit lower down and tend to shine in your eyes. It's a great atmosphere against Arsenal, I thought. The Evertonians sang their heart out. I think it'll probably be the same again for Chelsea this week. Obviously, the arrival of Eto'o will be a bit of a boost to the crowd. I can see Eto'o on the bench. I don't think he'll start as much as he might want to.
We said before about Roberto saying that he wants to get him in 10 or 11 training sessions first. Well, he's going to get him in about maybe 4 or 5 training sessions before the game. But Eto'o's already saying that he's ready to play. So barring any injury to Lukaku, I think he'll probably on the bench. Obviously no Atsu.
Yeah, well, Atsu can't play because of the details of his loan deal, obviously. A man to watch. I hate to pick the obvious one, but Diego Costa's on fire, so you can't really look past him. After that pass that Fabregas laid in the Burnley game to Shearer, which was just sublime. I was very close to picking Fabregas, who's pulling the strings for them at the moment, but you can't look past a goal scorer who's on fire. and Diego Costa's the man that, Jags and Distan are going to have to...
That's a scary
with
thought.
Diego Costa and Fabregas, this is probably going to be the toughest test that they'll have at Goodison all season. I would have thought, barring maybe you could say Aguero and Dzeko and the likes.
And Jovetic.
Yeah. So, it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know why, I've just got this feeling that we're going to win. I've got this feeling we're going to win, and I've got this feeling that Eto'o and Lukaku it's going to be one of those stories where, there's a big headline about Jose Mourinho with the players coming back to haunt him. I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton.
You said that last week?
I did say that last week.
Yeah.
I was nearly right.
Yeah, different circumstances. And, it's like the type of story that we love to go for us. And they'd always seem to go against us, don't they, these stories? Players coming back to haunt us and stuff. Let's have one that goes for us this time. Eto'o's thanked Mourinho for giving us opportunity again, and and he's been thankful for him throughout his career. But now what a chance this would be to prove what he said about him last year about being too old, where he did his little bad back routine celebrating. Could you see him scoring for Everton and going along and doing the same kind of thing? And could you see Lukaku?
No, do you know what? I could see him scoring for Everton and just running straight to the Gladys Street and becoming an instant hero. That's what I can see. Chelsea's behind him now. Forget that. Forget proving a point to Jose Mourinho. Prove a point to the Gladys Street end and to the rest of the grounds that you are still world class.
Yeah, he's got a great platform now, hasn't he? Because he's not he's not in the world stage spotlight. He's just on that little tier just below it.
But he's at a place where he can be loved.
Yeah, but he can really push himself back onto the world stage spotlight. And push us back up there.
Well, let's face it, he's at the biggest club he's ever played for,
yeah,
or ever will play for. So, so there you go. So, Real, Schmeichel and Barca.
Something rhymes with
Barca. But there you go. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and hopefully, in all honesty, if we've got 5 points by the end of these 3 games, you'd have probably took that, wouldn't you? In all honesty,
looking at the fixtures. I'm not going to say I'd be happy with 3 points, but if we had 3 points from these 3 games,
I'm saying if you have 5 points.
I know. Well, I'd be made up. But even if we got 3 out of these 3 games and then pushed on like we did last season, with the extra talent we've got in the team and with those 2 tricky games out the way, I think it's a good platform for us to push on. And
I agree. To remain unbeaten after 3 tough games, I mean, you might go, what did he talk about? Leicester, a tough game. Going away to a newly promoted club on their first game back in the top flight is always going to be tough because the crowd are bang up for it. The players are bang up for it. They've been doing double training every day or trying twice as hard at training because they're so excited to be in the Premier League. It's been 3 tough opening games. If we can come out those 3 unbeaten, it only stands us in good stead for the season.
Let's just clarify once again, we are not saying set our stall out for a draw, park the bus or whatever. We're just saying if at 7:30 on Saturday evening, if we've got a draw against Chelsea, it's not the end of the world and it's a good platform for us to build on.
I'm saying let's smash these Cockney Rent boys. Let's go and let's do them. Let's send Besic out, kick them up in the air, and then let's hit them with a double whammy of Lukaku and Eto'o late on, and get 3 points.
One good thing out of this is Frank Lampard's no longer there.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So that's a bonus point.
Fabregas has scored a few past us in the
past,
though, hasn't he?
So's Drogba. Shut up. We might get a new.
That Diego Costa bloke's never scored past us.
Diego Costa, I think we said this before, and I think a few people said the same kind of thing. You look at him, you think, he's only going to have a few seasons with Chelsea because he looks like 35 or something. He's only 25, so he could be the scourge of Everton for a number of years to come. I just hope he isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so, anything else you want to add on that, Mark?
No, I think that's me done this week, I think. Just counting down a minute to welcoming Eto'o to Goodison. It's just crazy. I can't even say it without laughing.
So, by the time you listen to this, you will know who we will be facing in the League Cup. Some of you will know who we are facing, who we will be facing in Europa League group stages. So Yeah, you'll know that before you even got this on. If you listen,
we'll obviously discuss both matters next week. It'll be a much clearer picture to Everton season.
Oh yeah,
next
definitely.
Week,
yeah.
and we'll be starting to put our plans into motion for where we're going to be going on our European tour.
Yeah. So if you listen on SoundCloud and you have an Apple device, go and subscribe to us. Just search the iTunes store for Not Bitter, Just Better. If you listen on the YNFA app, continue to do that. Maybe subscribe as well. Where else do people listen? If you just listen on YouTube and you like what you hear through Everton FC, You're in My Heart, You're in My Soul, bluesoul.co.uk. Again, subscribe. And I think that's it. That's it for the links, isn't it?
And if you're listening on the wireless, you're 60 years too late.
Yeah, it's 1878 FM, Not Bitter, Just Better radio. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, thanks for listening again. And come on, you Blues.
The Toppies have got Eto, the red shite shop in Neto.
Boom, 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 let you say Eto.